South Carolina is going to decide whether we have a moderate or a conservative as the Republican nominee, and only by gathering up all the conservatives to support Newt Gingrich can we make sure that we have a conservative to be the Republican nominee. It's that simple. We split our vote 3 or 4 ways. You could end up with a moderate who I believe will have a very hard time defeating Obama.
Well, with John Huntsman getting out, there's new pressure on the Republican candidates to prove they can beat Mitt Romney or make way for someone who can. Republican strategist Kevin Madden is a Romney campaign advisor. Veteran pollster KellyAnne Conway is a senior advisor to the Gingrich campaign. And Texas Attorney General Greg Abbott is a Perry supporter. Thank you all three for coming. KellyAnne, let me start with you. You were at the Texas conclave, if you will, over the weekend. This decision by these key evangelical leaders to rally around Santorum instead of your candidate, Gingrich. How influential is this vote?
Well, it was important, and it's really important to note that it was not an endorsement, and it certainly wasn't unanimous. On the first ballot, there were 57 votes for Senator Santorum, 48 for Newt Gingrich, 13 for Governor Perry. So there was a 9-vote difference in the first. It's hardly unanimous, not even a strong consensus. But on the third ballot, there was a consensus. We're really happy that Speaker Gingrich went into that meeting with strong support among some individuals, particularly some pastors with great heft across this country, and came out of that with the same support. So it does go to Newt's point, though, in your soundbite, Chuck, that there is still divided support among the conservatives, but he recognizes that the non-Romney vote is still way above 50% in most of these states, including South Carolina. The question this week is whether South Carolina voters are going to lean into this idea of electability or about Mitt Romney, or they're actually going to go for ideas and bold Reagan-type solutions.
Mr. Abbott, do you have a second choice here? I mean, I understand you're with Governor Perry, but is it, in listening to what Speaker Gingrich said, is it more important that the nominee be a conservative at this point, and do you see conservatives having to rally around one candidate?
Well, the good news is the good folks of South Carolina have the opportunity to pick a real conservative, someone who's going to provide a tremendous contrast with the failed administration of Barack Obama. And I believe Rick Perry is that person. Rick Perry is the one who is the proven conservative. He did a great job this last week of campaigning in South Carolina. If you look at how well he performed at the candidate forum, even Mike Huckabee said that Rick Perry did a better job than all the other candidates. If you look at the reception that he's getting at the town hall meetings in South Carolina, you can tell that the people in South Carolina are realizing that Rick Perry does provide that real, genuine, proven conservative alternative that will ensure it provides that contrast with the failed administration of Barack Obama.
But I guess I got to go back to you at this point. The way the polls are looking, Speaker Gingrich, Rick Santorum, Governor Perry, you're splitting up what may be as much as 60% of the vote in South Carolina. Mitt Romney wins South Carolina over.
Well, you make a fair point, and that is that a majority of the vote still does not align with Romney, and that means that there's a lot of votes to go around to try to decide who is the genuine conservative alternative to Mitt Romney. And what we're finding is the more time that Rick Perry spends on the campaign trail involved in retail politics, which he excels at, Rick Perry is doing a better job at retail politics than all the other candidates in South Carolina. We believe that he will begin to elevate himself in South Carolina.
Kevin Madden, how concerned are you that basically the conversation this week is about how Mitt Romney's not a conservative?
Well, look, I think Governor Romney's conversation with the voters of South Carolina and the voters of the Republican Party at large is about why he is the true conservative, and why he's a true conservative in economic terms, why he's a true conservative in national security terms, as well as on a social platform that many of these voters care about. I think the difference between Governor Romney and all these other candidates is they're very, very focused on talking the process of, process of elimination, or the process of attrition, while Governor Romney is talking straight to the voters about the #1 issue that they care about, and that's the economy. And then why, because he's good on the economy, he's best positioned to beat President Obama's general election.
The questions from conservatives haven't been whether Mitt Romney is talking like a conservative. The question is, his past actions.
Right.
And that seems to be why he can't make the sale with conservatives.
No, and it is very important. I mean, these are voters that care very strongly about the issues that they're involved in. And I think what's most important, particularly during this process, is that Governor Romney recognizes that there's a level of accountability during this process, and there's going to be a level of accountability as the nominee to conservative voters. And he welcomes that and accepts that. And I think as he talks more and more about what he would do as president, that many of these voters begin to believe that he will be the best nominee against President Obama in a general election.
KellyAnne, what is tonight's debate about? Is tonight's debate about Speaker Gingrich and Rick Santorum and Rick Perry making the case of why they're the most electable of the three quote conservative candidates, or most nominatable, or is this still about Governor Romney's record?
I think it's about both, but it's mainly about electability. And here's the thing, Chuck. If these candidates, particularly Newt Gingrich, can show voters that electability is not just about 8 simple letters, he can win, which you really can't prove. Ask President Rudy Giuliani or President Hillary Clinton what it means to have all the king's horses, all the king's men telling you can win, and then you don't. Ask George W. Bush when you head into New Hampshire in 2000 being told for 2 years you can win, and then John McCain beats you by 18 points. The fact is, electability needs to be defined as the person who can beat Obama in the fall is the person who can beat him in a debate, is the person who is sufficiently different from him on health care, on abortion over time, on guns. If you don't see those bold contrasts, then people will stick with what they know, which is Barack Obama is going to have $1 billion and incumbency. You need somebody who's sufficiently different, and that's why these conservative candidates, particularly Newt, who the Romney campaign admitted last week is probably the one who can go the distance, can make that sale. But that electability needs to be redefined.
Mr. Abbott, if Rick Perry doesn't win South Carolina, is it? Is that over?
Well, he believes that he's going to do better than in South Carolina than what he did in Iowa. He's going to continue to have some momentum at his back. He's going to find that his retail campaign ability is going to improve his prospects, and I think he will be well situated to move on to Florida and continue his campaign, proving that he is the one candidate who provides the conservative alternative to Barack Obama. He's the one candidate who continue to grow jobs in this country. And I believe that he's in it to win it.
Kevin Madden, very quickly, Mitt Romney, if he doesn't win South Carolina, how big a setback?
Oh, I think this is a campaign that's been built for the long haul. So South Carolina, I think we're going to compete very strongly there, but it's on to Florida and on to all the rest of the states. He has the infrastructure and the organization better than any other candidate.
I got to leave it there. Kevin Madden, KellyAnne, Conway, Attorney General Greg Abbott. Thank you all three for coming in on this holiday.
Thank you, Chuck.
Great to be here.
All right. Mitt Romney is bringing in the big